Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to TBC Network TV. We're excited to be with you here at this time in this segment. It's an exciting time coming before us. We're so grateful and thankful to TBC Network TV, Mr. Cantain, and his gigantic heart for sponsoring the Kiss of Me. Kiss of Me, Kisime, kissame.com. Please visit the website. There is a host of products out there, and there is a product for you. All of the products are herbal products, and you will be satisfied. You will be satisfied. We have Cordy X, we have Kenergy Coffee, we have a lot of things out there. We have cosmetics. All these things are there, and you have access to them. Yes, just by visiting the website. So I encourage you to do so. We have things like Cordy X, which helps reduce stress. Hallelujah. Uplift optimism. Hallelujah. Atuatism. You can even have relaxation without drowsiness. Many. And how does all this work? Well, it is the cordyceps, the Eltonai, a mixture of herbal ingredients that really give you a natural lift. So I encourage you to visit Kisime, Kisime.com, and view all the products out there. We have Kenergy Coffee, and within Kenergy Coffee, we have two different types, and they both work wonders. So here we are tonight, and as our guest, we're delighted to have Mayor-elect, I'm going to say Rodriguez Morrison. I like the ring of that. He's here, and he'll be running for LA Mayor in 2022. So TBC Network TV, we have a wonderful opportunity to have him and to speak with him. And stay tuned, because we are going to get into the meat of the matter right away. I notice on his flyer there's healthcare, homelessness, and public safety. There's a check in every box. But before we get there, let's hear a little bit about Mr. William Morrison, Mayor-elect. You were born, tell us, you were born where?
I was born in 1962 at the University Hospital, and Dr. Johnson had brought me into this world.
That was another Dr. Johnson. But I'm thankful and grateful that it was a namesake. So 1960, what's your physical location? Where was that hospital?
That hospital was actually off of Martin Luther King, and I believe it was closer to Martin Luther King and Normandy.
All right. So always been in LA. Always been in LA. Wow, amazing. So tell me a little bit about yourself, growing up, and things that happened in your life, defining moments.
Wow, very much defining moments. Why? Just walking in here, and once I saw your name, afterwards it realized to me the main thing in my life I've had, like growing up, 4 car accidents, bad accidents were like an out-of-body experience.
Okay.
And I've had 3 heart attacks in my lifetime.
Wow.
And
4 heart attacks, 2 car accidents.
I think at that point, every time since those were like near-death experiences, but the final time, which really opened my heart more, was December 22nd, 2005.
Okay.
I was at the Wyoming Memorial Hospital at 7:03 a.m. having a major heart attack. And I wanted to just wish my brother a Merry Christmas and just tell him it was going to be my last time. My brother said it. Was talking to him on the phone, and he mentioned to me that he would come down after he got off work.
Okay.
So at that point, I signed the papers. I looked at the clock. It was 11:05, and I just blacked out. And I woke up in the recovery room. They told me my heart had stopped for 2.5 minutes.
Oh, wow. Wow. 2.5 minutes, your heart stopped.
hmm They brought me back to life. I have 4 titanium stents. And throughout now, on me growing up and getting older now, everybody says I'm here as a blessing, and I have a lot of work to do. And I sometimes ask God, when can I come home? This election is all about family. And like you said, I have the 3 check marks: homelessness, healthcare, public safety. With the homelessness, I look at it this way. There's 3 different levels of homelessness. You have mental,
Mm-hmm.
mental issues, drug and
Okay.
alcohol, poverty homeless that lost their job and they became homeless.
Okay.
So I have a plan to try to get everybody back in the workforce and get them rehabilitated, the ones that have mental health and drug addiction problems. Back when you and I grew up, we used to have vocational training in our high schools, junior high schools,
Yes. Yes.
auto shop, wood shop,
Wood shop, auto
all those
shop.
craft
Yep.
classes.
Yep. Yep.
But you know, I guess Allen Unified and all these schools got so big to where they started becoming charter schools. So then
Oh.
now you have to go to a charter school to learn that skill. But that was our public schools. That got kids off of the street from violence.
Yes.
And with auto shop, they would go fix a car or they make something and became architects.
Yes.
And that was basically the dream of the community, but it's all been taken away.
Wow. You know, Mayor-elect Morrison, you have unloaded a lot on us right away. First of all, encounter with God. 4 heart attacks, 2 car accidents, and being able to articulate that you're here for a reason and a purpose and a blessing. So this is more to you than just an election. This is more to you than just, this means life to you now. Do you feel that really there is a call on your life as it relates to this run for office?
Yes, I feel that in my heart. I feel that in my heart, everybody in the city is hurting because of the pandemic, loss of income, loss of family members that have died through COVID. It's time for the city to be healed and bring us back to peace because we're all brothers and sisters. We're all created by one God,
Yes.
and we're all created as brothers and sisters. We're all one big family. This past weekend, I did the Asian March for Peace
Okay.
about the hatred
Mm-hmm.
and the violence with the Rampart Station.
Uh-huh.
And we just have to unite all once again as a family. And I put public safety on there as well. A married couple, when you're married, you know your husband or your wife is going to come home. It's guaranteed. In public safety, a police officer that protects the city and protects your community,
Mm-hmm.
they are your neighbors, they are your friends, they're part of
Yes.
your community. There's no guarantee when they leave the house that they're going to come home. So they give you a great service. When you call 911, they are there responding within less than 5 minutes. And with all the cuts, of course, they just need to be retrained. At one point in the 80s, they used to have community activities with the community, and the police department would interact and do. There was the chili cook-offs over at the police academy, which it was a whole community involvement thing.
Mm-hmm.
Police officers used to go in the neighborhoods back like in the 60s, the 70s and 80s and take baseball cards, football cards, and more community involvement with Parks and Recs. Those budgets have been cut. They need to be restored so you can know your police officers in the community. They're your neighbors. They're there to protect you. They will lay down their life for you. And that's what I will do to make sure everything is restored as a Mets mayor of Los Angeles.
Community policing, law enforcement interacting with the community to the degree where children in the community get to see law enforcement in another setting, in a different light. That's so very important. You mentioned the Asian Peace March. What was going through your mind while you were there, and what was the environment? What was your takeaway from that?
My takeaway from that is pointing out that we all need to heal. The virus, everybody's going after the Asian community because they feel that the Chinese community did this.
Yeah.
It's a man-made virus. And unfortunately, right now, you shouldn't be fighting amongst each other. They're your brothers or your sisters or your family. We're all one family. And I don't see this changing, but I hope it does.
What do you see as your biggest press towards the one family, the brotherly love? What would be one of your first steps in trying to bring that to the surface?
Bring it back to the surface. Well, I remember when I was in elementary school, and that was, I would say 71. It was about 73. They had a program called Pi.
Pi?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the East LA kids, and we would be teamed up with the school from South Central, and we'd go on school trips together and interact. And that was a positive program all the time. We'd go to museums, became really good friends. I still stay in touch with a couple of them, and that's one thing. Kids need to interact more and learn from a younger age, because I think with everything right now, we've lost a direction on the kids growing up. They're always just on a cell phone. A cell phone is not going to change your tire. It's not going to build your house. It's not going to give you a job. If once everything breaks down, even if the water system broke down today, from the Department of Water and Power, there's a turbine that runs actually the California Aqueduct. And that takes manpower to keep that running. If that brass turbine shuts down, you have to manually start it. So these are some of the things these kids need to understand, or else we can diminish.
Something as simple as turning on the water, knowing the water coming out the faucet, but there's a whole lot to get that water to the faucet.
Correct.
There's a whole lot to get that water to the faucet. So what you mentioned going to the museums and things of that nature. So I don't know if this is a question that you already answered, but I just said I'd already written down, what would the pie of the day look like? Because there's so much technology, and we're so driven by technology, and automated intelligence is taking the lead on things. So how do you see Pi today from 1973?
Well, today we're actually crumbles, because bringing all those schools together, that created one big pie, and we're all in harmony. Harmony, and we made friends, became like family.
So what I'm hearing is that Pi was the terminology, the nomenclature terminology used, but it was given that Pi because it was everybody coming together as a pie.
Yeah, as one big circle.
As one big circle. Okay, one big circle. Back to the homelessness and the three stages that you mentioned: mental, the mental, the help me, Holy Ghost,
Mental health.
the mental health part of homelessness. Um, what would one of your first steps be? And I have a lot of first steps questions. What's your first step be to work with that?
And the first step of the plan is there are nonprofits out there that can evaluate them. And LAPD used to have a 72-hour hold to evaluate a mental ill patient. Um, Actually, the homelessness isn't just a city problem, it's also a county, state, nation problem.
Mm-hmm.
The city of Los Angeles has over 1,000 empty buildings that can be renovated so we can house some of these homeless so they can get the rehabilitation that they need, the ones that are on mental health. I believe the federal building down right there on Wilshire Boulevard is 3/4 of the way empty,
Mm.
right by the VA hospital.
Okay. Yeah.
And you have a lot of veterans that are out there in tents. We could house them there, rehabilitate them, the
Yeah.
ones that have mental issues. And they've given their heart and soul to this nation, and we need to start taking care of those as well that are out there, because I pass by there every day when I go over to Jackie Robinson Stadium, and I see that.
So
These
the
empty
72-hour hold, I know that is in effect in some areas of LA County. So the drug and alcohol portion of homelessness, uh, are all your first steps as it relates to homelessness surrounding the same approach, or do the three levels that you mentioned have different first steps?
Different first steps.
Okay, so what's the drug and alcohol?
Drug and alcohol, get them off of the drugs and alcohol and get them trained to do so vocational work, get them trained to get their diplomas and get them jobs.
Okay.
Since we have the rail lines, you have the Gold Line and all this new lines that are coming in.
Yes.
When they first came about back in 2000, they said that they were going to do, which was the Gold Line in my area, that it was going to be completed like in 10, 20 years. Now, why are you doing it in phases? If we can get everybody working on this, then we can have it done in about 3-4 years.
Well, maybe they said that because of finances, how much it costs, maybe?
Wow, we are paying
I don't know.
for it.
You got to
But pretty
educate
much
me.
it's because of finances, because they keep on adding more, raising taxes to finish this rail system, gas taxes that go to that. That's transportation taxes. Now with that, we just need to get everybody working. Even some of the departments, they subcontract out the work. So, for example,
Okay.
Public Works, when they got everything surfaced over in Inglewood for SoFi, they did that in a week and a half.
Okay.
A week and a half. Now, the city of Los Angeles, on my block, it hasn't been resurfaced in years. Other areas of the city, it looks like they got a brand new street. Everybody pays the same percentage of taxes, which is 23%.
Ooh, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Morrison.
So,
I hear you.
now, why are the poverty communities being neglected when we're all one whole city? We're all one family. Why aren't we taking care of what needs to be taken care of? I see public work individuals standing around. I know it's a union job. I know unions. I know you're going to come after me. I'm waiting for that. If you want to come after me, you want to put somebody in the race to beat me. You're coming after a line, and I'm going to win. The thing is, you need to start caring about the people in the city that you represent, and I care of everyone. And you need to start getting the work done, and not just be standing around and subcontracting it out.
So, Public Works, they have jobs, Public Works,
Mm-hmm.
they work for the public to do service the public area,
Right, maintaining the streets.
maintain the streets.
Mm-hmm. Streets, sidewalks, trees.
But that's being contracted out.
Sometimes it's subcontracted out.
Maybe the workload is too heavy. Help me. I don't know. I'm not familiar.
No, they have quite a bit of employees, but the way this system works. You have to be of a friend to get into public works, but it should be open to everybody. That's why I want to train the homeless individuals that are looking for a job to take over that position.
You have to be a friend of a friend of a friend to get into public works. Wow.
Yep.
Well, it was once was said it's who you know who you know. What are some of the boards that you've sat on
Boards.
or
I've sat on
committees? Or
committees. I sit on the California Republican Assembly, and I am Senate Director for the last 20 years.
okay, tell me a little bit about that. What were some of your responsibilities? What are some of the things you did?
Well, as a Senate Director, you try to make the group stronger and bring
Okay,
in, more involvement, voter registration, and things of that sort. We have actually 4 events. We have a scorecard event
okay,
every year, and we have 4 events. And we have Black History Month that we honor,
hmm
Pastors Day as well, and Senior Day.
wow.
So,
So, and what is your motivation on giving so much service? What is
well,
your motivation in doing that?
my motivation comes from my heritage, from my great-great-grandparents,
Okay,
and they worked very hard for the American dream when they came here. That's on my mom's side of the family. And when my father got here too, he worked with public transportation for everything that trained me to be who I am today and educated me on being a strong man to care for everybody. My father cared for everybody in the community. My grandma was the same way. My great-grandfather, he worked for Wilson Packing House, and he would bring meat home to people from the neighbors of the community
wow.
back in the early 1900s. So, that was.
So, what are some of the lessons from your neighborhood watch, being a neighborhood watch captain? What are some lessons that came from doing that?
Doing that. It's a great program. It lowered, I guess, the gang activity and helping some of the gang members as well. And Neighborhood Watch is just caring for your neighbor and caring for everybody in the community. And I've had some friends that have gotten great jobs that I've advised to go check into these other departments. I have one friend that got a job with Department of Water and Power, and he's almost ready to retire.
Wow, that is amazing. Okay, what is something funny about Mayor-elect Morrison that you would like to share?
Something
Give
funny.
us a funny story. Come on.
A funny story.
That comes to mind.
Comes to my mind.
Something you'd like to share that will really show that you are a multi-dimensional person.
Multi-dimensional person. Well, let me see. I like eating a lot of hot peppers, and I've actually drank once. It's actually you've eaten those buffalo wings, the
Yes.
hottest ones that they have.
Well, no, I don't do that.
You don't do that, okay?
No,
Wow,
but
there was a slight
are
bet
you
there.
getting ready to tell me that you've experienced eating the hottest of hot things? So you grab one. Come on, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm not gonna tell you a story.
Oh no, we made a bet and that
Uh-oh.
I couldn't finish them.
Oh, you.
So I kind of wanted to make it more tasteful. So I bet you I could finish these in less than 3 minutes. So I actually finished them in less than 3 minutes. You see, I've learned because you got to remember Jamaica's got some hot pepper.
Yes.
So since my dad is part Jamaican, I'm used to eating that hot pepper.
Okay.
I'm used to drinking some Scotch bonnet.
All
it's
right.
just like water to me. So you see, that's a secret that they didn't know. So anybody that's watching, just remember if you hear me putting some money down that I can drink something down that's very hot. You see, I still want to try those really hot noodles to get my picture on the board.
Ah.
In
Well, you go
Chinatown.
ahead, Mr. Morrison, because I'm not gonna mess with the hot stuff. Not gonna mess with the hot stuff. We have about 2 minutes, or so remaining. It's been a joy and a pleasure, and we're thankful for Mr. Cantain and TBC Network TV. We're excited about having you here with us, and we're looking forward to 2022. Our prayers are with you. Your platform of healthcare, homelessness, and public safety, really, 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 really needful in our community, not only LA County, LA City, but across the nation. So we'll see what the Lord has to say, because greater is He that lives within us than
So
he that
true.
lives within the world. So give
Amen
us
on that.
some parting words before we.
Well, Dr. Johnson, I want to really thank you for having me here. And I thank God and the Lord for having me here and still being on this earth. I know I have a purpose, and I will fulfill that purpose. And my main thing is, everybody out there, let's have peace in the streets. I am going to show you, once winning this election, how government should work for you.
Wow. Let's have peace in the streets. Let's have peace in the streets. And I thank you, Mr. Morrison, for coming and sitting down with me, and True Broadcasting Channel TV Network. Thank you, Mr. Cantain. Thank you, Kennedy Coffee and Cordy X. God bless you, and I hope you learned something about the mayor-elect William Rodriguez Morrison. Mayor-elect Morrison. God bless you, sir, and thanks again.
Thank you.